Ali, hallo, hallöchen. Schön, dass ihr da seid. Hallo Nero, hallo Sam, hallo Lukas und viel Spaß im Lurk. Wie geht's euch? Und hallo an alle Lurker. Wir machen heute mit unserer Story Quest in Inazuma weiter. Njom, danke für das Njom Ghost, Njom. Jetzt bin ich verwirrt, Njom. Danke für den Hydrate Tricks, Njom. Wie geht's euch beiden so? Njom. So. Und ein Stretch, Njom. Dankeschön. Dann fangen wir mal gleich ein bisschen damit an, uns zu dehnen, Njom. Irgendwann soll ich aus wie ein Seestern. Ja. So. Genau, einmal rundum Care-Paket. Ja. Und Trix ist müde wie immer. Ja. Uiuiui. Ich hoffe, ihr habt die Woche bisher ganz gut überstanden, ja. Mir schmiert gerade die Stimme ab. Perfekt. Haha. Gucken wir mal. So, jetzt sollte es wieder gehen. Perfekt. Wo waren wir denn stehen geblieben? Nicht in der Kluft. Ja. Der Samurai und sein komisches göttliches Auge. Ja, let's go. Dann gucken wir mal da unten. Du musst erst am Donnerstag wieder arbeiten, Jam. Nice. Und dann genieß deine Woche, Jam. So. Und wir gucken mal weiter, Jam. Die Leute haben ja alle irgendwie ihre Vision verloren, Jam. Und jetzt haben sie alle keinen Bock mehr. Jam. Hm. Game, please, Jam. Du schaffst das, Genshin. Du bist größer, stark und mächtig, Jam. Du hast heute schon einiges hingekriegt, Jam. Yes. Das verwende ich. Du haust dich jetzt ins Bett. Ja, das kann gut sein. Ansonsten kannst du dir auch einen Timer stellen, damit du nicht viel Entschuldigung. Damit du nicht viel zu lange in YouTube guckst, Njom. Aber danke fürs Vorbeischauen. Schlaf gut, erhol dich gut. Und du schaffst das schon. Njom. Viel zu viele Njoms heute. So, dann gucken wir mal bei dem guten Boy vorbei, Njom. Ich hoffe, wir haben mit dem richtigen geredet, Njom. Ah, okay. Mir geht's ganz gut, ein bisschen am Kränkeln, Njom. Hört man vielleicht auch zwischendurch. Versuche so wenig wie möglich zu husten, Njom. Aber ansonsten alles Tipp. Ich hab's heute mit mir sprechen, Njom. Ich krieg das noch hin. Aber ansonsten alles fit. Wie sieht's bei dir aus, Sam? Njom.
I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous.
Vielen, vielen Dank für den Headpad, Njom.
Would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. No, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to.
Das freut mich zu hören, Njom. Wir hörten, dass du dein göttliches Auge verloren hast, Njom.
That's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details.
Poor boy.
All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone owes me something.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was
No,
chasing
ja.
after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders
Nero
yourself.
says Nyam to Nyam.
If there were any emergency provisions to be had, they would have found them.
Huh. He seems to be telling the truth. But we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to say.
Ein bisschen Schatzräuberklappe Nyam.
Tracks. They couldn't have gone too far.
Hauen wir die bösen Buben mal Nyam. Nee. So, die Boys sind da hinten, Nyam, let's go. Ihr encount mir nicht. Nyam. Hallöchen. Nyam.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean,
Nyam, nyam,
besides that
nyam, nyam,
one
nyam.
house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder that will go down in hoarder history.
Mhm.
You demand, boss.
Mach ich fertig. Nyam. Nee, Nyam ist zu
Seem
Ende.
like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson.
Klappe! Ansonsten, wie war euer Tag so? Habt ihr was Schönes gemacht? Konntet ihr euch entspannen? Habt ihr was zu snacken dabei oder was zu trinken? Ja, Nero hat Klappe gehört. Hier gibt's ein bisschen Klappi.
You dare to gaze upon me?
Er ist ja schon so ein kleiner Gremlin. Und wer freut sich von euch schon auf das Update morgen? Wer freut sich schon darauf, die neuen Charaktere auszuprobieren? So, Dude Nummer 1 ist kaputt. Ich glaube, das ist jetzt das erste Mal, dass ich so richtig in der neuen Stufe spiele. Du bist morgen früh dafür am Start. Nice. Hast du vor, einen Banner zu ziehen?
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Es ist schön, dass ihr hart dafür gearbeitet habt, es zu stehlen. Es gibt Leute, die haben hart dafür gearbeitet, es zu erhalten. Ah, du skippst den ersten Banner, das heißt, du gehst dann bei Hutao und Yelan rein. Du hast Lust auf Yayao und Alhitham. Wirst aber nicht ziehen. Oh. Ich meine, wenn Yayao gut ist, dann kannst du sie dir theoretisch auch in diesem einen Event aussuchen als Einladungscharakter. Und Ghost auf Hutao. Ja, ich werde wahrscheinlich auch auf Yelan warten, weil I need that bow.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you.
Nope, es heißt, ihr habt Kurosawas Haus geplündert.
Kurosawa. Oh, I remember.
Er hat voll die hübschen Augen, was
So
da
he's
los?
the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew we shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with valuables inside. I
Gib mir die
didn't want
Box.
anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom. What do you say?
You've got a deal. Now show us what's in the box.
Huh?
What the?
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah,
Tja,
a lot of them too. And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We're talking tons of Mora here. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of this. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross again.
ich finde
Yes,
das
of course.
so niedlich, dass Paimon so passiv-aggressiv ist, obwohl sie gar nicht mitkloppert.
Does that mean we broke even?
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Dann gucken wir mal, was da los ist.
Too slow. Quit following me.
So, wir nehmen den Extra-Boost. Whee! Warum ist der Boy eigentlich so praktisch?
Too slow. Squall Fury.
Okay, Treppen sind da nicht so praktisch. Ha. Dann reden wir mal mit der guten Frau. Wer weiß, was dahinter steckt, weil anscheinend hat er ja wirklich nichts und dann ist er auch noch hoch verschuldet. Uiuiui.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find
Mein Tracking
something?
an sich funktioniert. Das Problem ist nur, dadurch, dass ich ein bisschen angeschlagen bin, ist meine Gesichtshaltung halt einfach eine ganz andere als sonst.
Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about?
Wegen dieser Schuldscheine.
Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Maybe?
Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increased, couldn't he just buy less?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time.
Herzlichen Dank für deinen Follow,
It
Hetty.
would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather
Wie
than
geht's
letting
dir?
people down.
Schön, dass du da bist. Herzlich willkommen.
Kurosawa was purchasing all the emergency provisions at his own expense.
No,
No
Paimon.
one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained and held him accountable.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, there would still have been some unrest. What he was
Sorry.
doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself.
Ah.
If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself?
Nun ja, er erinnert sich leider nicht mehr.
I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable blade. He's carried it for years now. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price, at least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for.
Na, dann schauen wir mal. Vielleicht haben wir Glück.
Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything.
Information is also a kind of commodity, wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh, let me think. 2,000 mora should be a fair price.
At least we now know where the emergency
Nein, ich weiß nicht, was
provisions
das
are
ist.
coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a priceless sword in his possession. Let's go talk to Kurosawa again and see if he can remember anything.
Too slow.
Dann einmal wieder zurück. Das ist super praktisch. Warum fliege ich eigentlich immer in die falsche Richtung? Wo will ich eigentlich hin? Da hinten. Okay, perfekt. Vielen, vielen Dank für den Hydrate, Sam. Dann nehme ich gleich mal einen großen Schluck. Und danke für den Stretch. Dann geht's gleich mal los mit dem Stretching. Uiuiuiui. So. Okay. Kann sein, dass es da einige Zusatzprogramme gibt. Bisher bin ich noch nicht in die Bedrulle gekommen, mich damit auseinanderzusetzen. Weil ich einfach bisher noch für das, was ich mache, keine benötige. Aber da gibt es bestimmt einige Programme.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
Hat sie geklappt.
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often.
Und danke für das ganze Hydraten und Stretchen, Sam. Das tut wirklich gut. Ich frage mich, wann das erste Mal im Stream sein wird, dass man irgendwas knacken hört. Bisher habe ich ja das Glück, dass mein Rücken noch nicht knackt. Okay.
Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders? Everything I said was true, right?
Also, deswegen,
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions. But
Ja,
they
stimmt.
were all purchased at your own expense.
Ich muss mir erst mit 2000 Jahren Gedanken darüber machen, dass ich vielleicht potenziell alt werden könnte. Dankeschön, I really appreciate that. Ich vergesse das gerne mit dem Trinken und mit dem gerade sitzen und allem drum und dran. Wobei nicht nur gerade sitzen, ich stretch mich ja richtig, mache ja gefühlt einmal den Seestern. Beziehungsweise den Hampelmann, was auch immer.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything.
Naja, da geht dir aber auch so ein bisschen was verloren, Ghost, weil bestimmtes Essen schmeckt einfach super lecker, bestimmtes Trinken schmeckt super lecker. Das verpasst man dann so ein bisschen. Nein, aber ich stelle mich quasi wie so ein Seestern hin und dann stretche ich mich quasi einmal in Richtung jedes Fußes.
Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? I really don't understand. But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so.
Erschrecken können auch andere Monsterarten. Dürfen wir uns das mal ansehen?
This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded me severely. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember, all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hands and said to me, "With this sword, you should..."
If you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Da steht Tugend und Gerechtigkeit.
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword.
Ein göttliches Auge zu verlieren.
Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a terrible experience. Fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
Da rein, Shogun reißt mir halt einfach direkt das Herz raus. Wenn du keine Vision hast, dann muss halt was anderes herhalten. Let's go. So, wir dürfen wir... Entschuldigung. Dann machen wir uns mal auf den Weg nach da oben. Wieso müssen wir uns eigentlich 3 Personen davon angucken? Ich meine, man hat doch nach der ersten Person schon gecheckt, dass das nicht cool ist, was die da macht. Kommt mir bisher eher weniger so vor. Kommt mir eher so vor, als wäre die zickig in der Trotzphase.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts.
Das, oder es hieß ja ganz am Anfang mal, dass wir Welten bereisen und dass wir halt einfach nichts haben, weil wir aus einer anderen Welt gekommen sind. Keine Ahnung. Aber wenn uns unser göttliches Auge geraubt worden wäre, wäre das ja auch eine interessante, wie nennt man das? Idee. Und hi Draco, schön, dass du da bist. Ja.
Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Exorzismus, okay.
I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to...
Wir wollen seine Schüler werden.
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being.
Meine Paimon spricht hier einfach unhöflich dazwischen. Wir können... Ich gehe erst wieder zurück, wenn er mein Sensei ist. Hm.
I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Also ich muss sagen, ich bin ziemlich gespannt auf die ganzen Events, die jetzt mit den neuen Patches kommen.
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. So we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself.
Uiuiuiui, dann hauen die einen ja echt direkt zu. Neue Charaktere, neue Karte, zig Events, oh Gott. Da hat man dann ordentlich was zu tun. Darf ich euch was sagen? Von hier aus sieht dieser Schrein halt einfach unendlich böse aus. Aber ja, dann uiuiui. Teilt ihr euch das auf oder sagt ihr, ich guck mal, wie weit ich gleich am ersten Tag komme und rush dann quasi im Verlauf der ganzen Woche alles durch?
Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism.
Uiuiui. Dann hast du ja ordentlich was zu tun.
So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this evening and see for ourselves.
Okay, Ghost haut auch durch. Und Nero, du sagst, dass wir getimelockt werden, wenn es größere Events sind. Das kann natürlich sein, dass sie sagen, hier, ihr müsst jetzt aber wieder so und so lang warten. Das kann gut sein.
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself.
Hier ist wieder bis 22 Uhr. Bestimmt. Wobei ich das an sich auch ganz schön finde, dass sie so ein bisschen timelocken, dass du das Ganze halt nicht irgendwie in 2 Stunden durchballerst, sondern so ein bisschen was für, auch ich sag mal, für den Zeitverlauf des Events hast. Finde ich an sich keine schlechte Idee. Okay. Ja, dann habe ich ja nochmal Glück gehabt.
When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. but they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's, his senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago, and he has been a wanderer ever since.
Bei mir auch nicht. Ich warte aufs zweite Banner mit der Yelan.
Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
Oh. Das hinterher.
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? Uh-oh. Could they be here to mess up the exorcism?
Let's
Don't
go.
let them get away with it. Come on, let's go after them.
Let's go, go, go. Haben wir sie kaputt?
Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place?
Ich habe keine Ahnung,
We'll go a
Paimon.
little further up. Aha! Suspicious
Hallo.
person sighted.
How did you catch up with me
Nun ja,
so
ich
quickly?
bin so ein bisschen in Klammern jünger als du. Wir setzen das aber mal ganz hart in Klammern.
Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker than he does. Unless... I guess it's been a few years. Maybe his skills have improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. First off, who are you?
Oh mein Gott, ich finde solche Ausbrüche bei Paimon finde ich eigentlich echt cute. So.
And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like bad news, mister.
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day, long before you ever showed up. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
His senior? Wait, that means you must be...
Anzai? Yes, that's me.
Warum bist du verschwunden?
Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying make Yoshi sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of make Yoshi sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception. But Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training, and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo Shisui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations from me. Domon's arrival changed everything.
When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back.
Vielen Dank für den Hydrate und vielen, vielen Dank für den Stretch, Nero.
Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately, that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false.
Vielen, vielen Dank nochmal.
How
Das
could
hat
he,
echt gut getan.
of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo Shisui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself.
Setzt ihr euch eigentlich zwischendurch mal wieder gerade hin?
You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finishing.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess up the exorcism at all. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's go see how the exorcism's coming along.
Okay, hätte ja sein können, dass ihr zwischendurch auch mal sagt, so, okay, irgendwie habe ich gerade Rückenschmerzen, jetzt muss ich mich mal anders hinsetzen.
Quit following me.
So, einmal runter da. Okay, das ist gut.
What? You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Okay, Draco setzt sich manchmal wieder richtig hin und bei Ghost sind die Beine am Tisch. Und hi Jack, schön, dass du wieder da bist. Wie geht's dir? Schön, dich zu sehen.
Nanako, please, try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon.
Das freut mich zu hören.
But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty.
Nero, Vorbild, hat mitgestretcht und mitgehydratet.
And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yai does not like to be kept waiting.
Es dauert doch 3 Wochen, bis wir da oben ankommen.
But we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui art, will do our best to help you.
Ich komme gerne mit.
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden children from her.
So, dann würde ich sagen, let's go. Einmal haben wir schon mitgenommen, den Teleportpunkt bis nach da oben. Das war sehr praktisch. Yay. Ach, dann würde ich sagen, let's go. Ist Draco ein Fan von Yai? Wobei, wer kann kein Fan von ihr sein? Oh mein Gott, sie ist halt einfach total pretty.
Do you think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junya is so excited. She has a really striking presence.
Du hast sie auf C6, GZ, uiuiui.
Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all around him to persecute him.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady Yai, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest swordmaster in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor Sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Ansai, Why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost?
Ich finde es gerade sehr schön, dass sie genau in dem Moment die Perspektive geändert haben, dass wir jetzt nicht mehr von außen drauf gucken, sondern dass wir quasi, ich sag mal in Klammern, durch Domons Augen selbst schauen.
You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come. I never should have.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too.
No.
But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start?
Interessant. In der englischen Version sagt er, aber was ist, wenn dasselbe ihnen zustößt? In der deutschen Übersetzung stand, was ist, wenn dasselbe mir zustößt? Ja. Nice übersetzt.
If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue.
Da hast du allerdings recht, Nero. Da ist uns jetzt ja schon mehrfach im Verlauf der Genshin-Story aufgefallen, dass da irgendwas nicht so ganz knocke ist.
I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domon before me, am a master of Meikyo Shisui art.
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way.
Goodness. Well,
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody.
Oh, das stelle ich mir aber auch schlimm vor. Du trainierst etwas für Jahre, du trainierst hart, um an dem Punkt anzukommen, wo du sagen kannst, du fühlst dich stark, du fühlst dich deiner Aufgabe gewachsen und dann kommt da jemand, der einfach gefühlt seine Fähigkeiten, ich sage wohlbedacht gefühlt, weil nur weil jemand schnell lernt, heißt das ja nicht, dass die Person da keine Arbeit hintersteckt. Aber wenn du dann quasi, ich sag mal, mit so einem Fingerschnipsen besiegt wirst, das tut, glaube ich, schon ordentlich weh. Uiuiui.
You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. But you have a great number of worthy disciples.
I understand. I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Meikyo Shisui art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my mind and be free of agitation. But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai my senior, to hold me to my word.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yai and then get yourself back home.
Ui, 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 ui.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf. Guess that sort of solves this one, huh?
Ja, eine bessere Lösung können wir uns wohl nicht wünschen.
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yai has some words for you.
Oh, ich kriege eine persönliche Audienz.
My intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Yai seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. Paimon's so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
Dann würde ich sagen, tun wir das auch mal. Ups, ich wollte dich nicht umrennen. I'm sorry. Dann einmal zurück zum Kamisato-Anwesen. Let's go. Aber dass wir das jetzt dreimal mitmachen mussten, weiß ich nicht. Die erste Quest fand ich ein bisschen komisch in dem Dorf. Aber es war süß wegen der Liebesgeschichte. Die zweite Quest mit dem Typen, die war halt, weiß ich nicht. War jetzt irgendwie auf der einen Seite ja cool, auf der anderen Seite ja irgendwie, weiß ich nicht. Da hat halt nicht so viel Verständnis hintergesteckt. Das heißt, im Endeffekt hast du halt niemals erfahren, warum er das Ganze auf sich genommen hat, um das quasi für die Leute zu bewerkstelligen. Und hier bei der letzten habe ich das Gefühl, da haben sie sich nochmal richtig Mühe gegeben und haben sich gesagt, so, wir brauchen jetzt richtig Hintergrundstory hier. Haut mal eine richtige Geschichte raus da. Und vielen, vielen Dank für den Hydrate und für den Stretch Ghost. Und dann gehe ich da einmal nochmal rein, um den... Also saufen kann man das nicht nennen. Ich trinke hier einfach nur Wasser. So, dann stretche ich mich gleich, dann können die nämlich schon anfangen zu quatschen. So.
Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka!
Warum ist Thomas so smooth?
Traveler, Paimon, it is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Eigentlich haben wir gar nicht geholfen.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, it seems like there's no way to really help them. Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma also.
Uh-huh.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but Paimon sure as heck did not sign up to be a servant.
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen.
Ich bin jetzt einfach mal super nerdy und sage Freundschaftsanfrage akzeptiert.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen?
Dieses Schicksal ist schlimmer als der Tod.
Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the common people.
Ich habe keine Ahnung, was ein Hydrate Extrem ist. Ich bin aber auch nicht sicher, ob ich das fragen will.
But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your stance?
Ich helfe dir im Kampf gegen das Augenharzdekret.
You will? Really?
Doch musst du dein Versprechen halten.
Naturally.
Alright, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you she wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my trust in the right person after all.
Warum hatte ich das Gefühl, dass die beiden irgendeine Wette am Laufen hatten, so wie er gerade reagiert hat?
Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komori Tea House? We ought not to involve other members of the Yashiro Commission.
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
Ja, nee, auf Ex trinken ist doof. Finde ich auch schade ums Getränk, dann kann man sich gar nicht richtig drauf konzentrieren, was man da eigentlich schmeckt.
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access.
Ist das dann Kamisato Dogo?
Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Gotta keep a bit of mystery, right?
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me? The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions, most of them formal ceremonies. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. But as I recall, there was something else about her that struck me even more deeply. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on her single goal of implementing eternity, acting accordingly without feeling. Of course, we have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenshukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryou Commission and the Kanjo Commission, and subsequently scrapped. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no interest in discussing anything. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt Decree. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, it is not unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the vision hunt decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that? Paimon's getting mad.
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Der Banner mit der Ansage für das Server runterfahren war halt einfach gefühlt, als hätten wir gerade mit dem Text so eine TV-Serie und dann wird da irgendwas im Notfallbanner eingeblendet.
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the Shogunate of Murakami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement, beyond merely fighting the Vision Hunt Decree.
Ich habe keine weiteren Fragen, Euer Ehren.
Paimon has a question, though.
Oh? What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunt Decree?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt Decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them as a contingency measure.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake visions?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article.
Bestimmtes Venti dort.
The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryou Commission.
Darn! So they found out about it? Ugh.
Also heißt das theoretisch, man muss seine Vision nicht die ganze Zeit mit sich rumschleppen, man kann die abnehmen und einfach eine Fake-Vision da dran packen oder man packt seine eigene Vision irgendwo, wo sie weniger sichtbar ist und packt dann die andere dahin, wo sie alle anstrahlt? Habe ich das richtig verstanden?
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission, breaking him out of prison would risk dragging down the reputation of the entire Kamisato clan should we be caught.
Wir machen das.
By no means do we intend to place the burden of such a task on your shoulders alone. When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run by the Nagonohara family. There, you will find someone who can help you.
So, dann würde ich sagen, haben wir einiges geschafft heute. Das heißt, wir können beim nächsten Mal mit der Rettungsmission beginnen. Dann würde ich sagen, vielen, vielen Dank fürs Einschalten, für eure Chat-Aktivität. Vielen, vielen Dank auch an die ganzen Lurker. Vielen, vielen Dank, dass ihr da seid. Ich wünsche euch noch einen wundervollen Abend. Erholt euch gut, entspannt euch. Macht euch noch einen schönen Restabend. Wer möchte, kann morgen um 21 Uhr gerne wieder zum Artstream reinschauen. Ich hoffe, wir kriegen das Emote endlich fertig. Es fehlen ja im Endeffekt nur noch die Hände. Und dann haben wir es geschafft. Also rein theoretisch und ein paar Outlines. Ansonsten würde ich sagen, hören wir uns. Alles Liebe und Gute euch. Bye, bye.